Refined, it's a taste bud tongue twister of the pretzel kind.
It's like a steak chimichurri with onions and jalapenos. It's really good.
And wait till you meet the double trouble behind these Sam-tastic Sammies. Then a West Coast premiere.
I'm not going to say whether or not there's nudity, but you're just going to have to buy a ticket.
A hilariously comic twist on one of the most beloved novels of our time. Plus, it's like Downton Abbey on bikes.
Oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever. We need to do it in Snohomish. Can we do it in Snohomish? Can we do it in Snohomish?
Refined uses pedal power and rolls into something called a Tweed Ride.
Seattle Refined starts now!
Hey everybody, welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. We begin today with a little history lesson on two of our favorite foods, the sandwich and the pretzel. Legend has it, the pretzel was first invented way back in 610 AD when Italian monks presented their young students with treats of baked dough twisted to represent arms crossed in prayer. The origin of the sandwich reportedly dates back to 1762, when England's 4th Earl of Sandwich was too busy gambling to step away for a meal, so he ordered his valet to bring him meat tucked between two pieces of bread. Even if you don't believe those stories, there's a reason I'm telling you all this, all right? It has to do with a food truck the Refined team just discovered where pretzels and Sammies collide with delicious results.
Pork, trust, no cheese.
Jess and Amanda are totally in sync, serving customers fresh sandwiches from their food trailer. It might be tough for most people to navigate such a small space, but these two co-captains of Anchor End Pretzel Shop work together perfectly.
Jason! Joe! Riley! It's coming. Thank you so much.
It might be because they've known each other for a long time. In fact, their entire lives.
We're twin sisters. Twin sisters. So, yes, very close. Very close. Yeah.
They were just kids when they started cooking.
I'd say at least 7. Yeah. Probably 8. Really young. Yeah, we'll say 10 just because we got our official cooking gear at 10. Yeah. But everybody knew we liked cooking. That's why we got it. So probably as early as kindergarten, we were cooking.
These days, people are lining up for their unique spin on sandwiches.
I think it's really good. Yeah, no, there's a whole group of us from my office who we just walk over every Friday for their sandwiches.
All showcasing their signature pretzel buns.
It's also some of the best bread ever. I'm already a sucker for like pretzel bread sandwiches, and so when they're like, well, you can have like a mega stuffed one that's not gonna be an actual pretzel with like all the ingredients fall through the holes, like, yeah, it's delicious with salt. So good.
The names of the sandwiches are as unusual as the ingredients.
Dictator is our most popular sandwich. That's our twist on a Cuban sandwich. So dill pickles from Seattle Pickle Company. Jalapenos normally go on here, stone ground mustard, Swiss cheese, and it's on a cinnamon sugar pretzel bun, which throws some people off, but most people not. Resistor name came just because we had a Dictator sandwich, so we thought we would just name it the Resistor. So it's just cold brisket, chimichurri with cilantro, basil, and parsley, and some pickled onions and greens. It's really good, really refreshing. Here's the beginning of our Trustafarian patty. It's actually completely vegan without cheese. A lot of garbanzo beans, carrot, zucchini, some onion, green chilies, and then this is our house-made tomato jam. This one is our sea squab. That's our breakfast sandwich. Starts with a French toast pretzel bun. Egg, cheese, pork belly is optional, and a pepper slaw, which is roasted poblano slaw. A bunch of bell peppers added on that.
This resistor of the egg?
Yeah.
You may recognize the twins from their appearance on the popular Food Network show, Guy's Grocery Games with Guy Fieri. In fact, they took home the $20,000 grand prize.
Yes. Yeah, we won. Yeah. It was amazing. It was cool. We weren't nervous at all. Yeah, it was good. It was natural.
And here's a new twist in their story. Getting that money means they can grow their business. They're planning on opening a bakery in Shoreline.
It's going to help us open the bakery. Grant kind of gives us the courage to start hiring people. Yeah, so it'll be a retail bakery. We'll focus on a lot of breads, do a couple pastry items. We're kind of stuck with the pretzel thing, so we'll keep making pretzels.
To learn more about Anchor End Pretzel Shop, log on to SeattleRefined.com. New Yorkers love their pretzels, but they love their pizza even more, to the point they can be sometimes a skosh snobby about it. But when one of our refined foodies told us she was going to have her Brooklyn-born father put Seattle pies to the test, we were all in. Elizabeth Crook's father believes firmly that New York-style pizza is superior to all others. So she took him to some of the city's most celebrated pizza spots, from Ballard to Belltown and beyond, to see which one passed his unscientific Big Apple taste test. To find out the results, log on to our website. A pair of literary classics are getting a fresh spin on local stages this fall. Over at the Act Theater, it's a contemporary take on Arthur Miller's Tony Award-winning drama, The Crucible. The play about the Salem witch trials of 1692 is getting a modern update to reflect today's high-tech world. The curtain opens October 13th. Less intense, but no less beloved, is Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice.
Mr. Darcy?
Miss Bennett.
Women all over the world fell in love with Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy in the 1995 BBC miniseries of the classic novel. And now a new production is bringing all the longing and angst of Darcy, Elizabeth, Jane, and Bingley to the stage at the Seattle Rep, and what we're told is a surprisingly modern adaptation of this timeless tale.
Do stand up straight. No man likes a hunchback.
The prim and proper Miss Jane Austen might roll over in her grave if she saw the newest spin on her celebrated novel, Pride and Prejudice.
I'm not going to say whether or not there's nudity, but you're just going to have to buy a ticket.
But more likely, she'd laugh her butt, pardon me, behind off.
This is a big, broad comedy, a lot of laughs, but still with the heart and romance and all the things you come to expect from Jane Austen.
The actors are still dressed like the beloved characters from the 1800s, but the West Coast premiere of this adaptation of Pride and Prejudice takes an undeniably modern and humorous approach to love and sex.
It is not the Pride and Prejudice that you've seen before.
With too much perfection.
A lot of people know this story, they know what happens, but I think the way that it is presented is so fresh and new that you might forget what happens at the end.
I don't want to give away things, but I mean, there's some really funny stuff, but I mean, we get to see actors be completely doused with water from head to toe on stage, which is so rare.
The story of Pride and Prejudice is a romantic tale as old as time, one where opposites at first repel each other and then attract.
I play Lizzie Bennett, who is, I guess, the romantic leading lady of the story. She meets this guy who's super rich and seems like a total snob, so she hates him at first, of course, but she's wrong.
But in this production, the actors are practically schizophrenic as they play multiple parts in a series of complicated love triangles.
I play 3 different roles. I play Mr. Wickham, Mr. Collins, and Miss Bingley. Mr. Collins is a ridiculous character. He's a lot of fun to play. I get away with a lot. But also playing a lady is something I don't get to do very often because I look hideous as a woman, but it is a lot of fun.
The pace on stage is as frantic as the plot.
I would say that there's so many changes and so many unexpected events in the show that, at least for me, I'm just sort of buckling up, getting on the roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
And if you aren't a fan of Jane Austen or English manners, don't worry, this play has something for everyone.
It's just racy enough to keep everybody on the edge of their seats, but not dirty. It's great. It's just great.
Pride and Prejudice runs through October 29th at the Bagley Wright Theater. For more info, check out our website. Seattle Refined is just getting started. Hops and hopes as a family tradition gets a sudsy reboot thanks to 4 friends and a dream that wouldn't die. But first, a Refined Rewind.
People like dressing up. We don't get enough opportunities in modern life to dress up and do this.
Pack the basket, grab the teapot. We're off on a posh picnic where Tweed is king. Welcome back to Refined. I'm Guard Swanson. This is a pretty good show today, right? Having fun yet? Well, according to a new study, you should be. Wallet Hub rated 150 of the largest U.S. cities by their fun factor, and Seattle came in a pretty decent number 20. Sin City, Las Vegas took home the top spot. If you want to see the entire top 20, check out our website. Sin City may be the fun capital of the U.S., but we're pretty sure the folks who did that survey did not know about Snohomish, Washington. Not only is Snohomish fun, it's also historic, and Refine's John Prentice discovered fashionable.
So today is the 3rd annual Tweed Ride. We invite people to come out and dress up in vintage clothing, very fine clothing, bring their vintage bikes if they have them, bring a picnic in a basket, spread a blanket, and we provide tea and scones and other treats for them to enjoy. And then once they finish their repast, they can recreate with badminton or with croquet.
Tweed rides are an international phenomenon. People around the globe don their dandiest tweed outfits and scoot about on their cycles in search of afternoon tea. The first of these most civilized events occurred in London, of course, and now there's one in Snohomish.
Well, I'm out here taking part of the Snohomish Tweed Ride from downtown Snohomish to right here, Machias Park. About a 6-mile ride, and it was a beautiful ride, sunny day, cool enough to our tweed, a little warm in the sun.
This is my 2nd year for the Tweed Ride to ride this, and I think it is the oldest bike here today. This is a 1948 Huffman made by the Dayton Company. It's a 3-speed. This is actually the original bicycle license from Seattle, dated 1948. They don't make bikes like this anymore, and there's probably a reason why, because this is very heavy.
After tea, these merrymakers took to croquet and some very competitive badminton.
The badminton was awesome, except for the sun was in our eyes. Unfair, and they also had the breeze in their back.
So they're cheaters?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I don't think so. We just made sure we didn't have the sun in our eyes. If that's cheating, I think that's just smart team play.
People like dressing up. We don't get enough opportunities in modern life to dress up and do this anymore.
What do you think of my suit?
Well, is it tweed? Is it even tweed?
I don't know. What is tweed?
It's kind of that woven. It's got, you know, different colors.
Does it feel itchy enough to be tweed?
Well, we'll just call it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not wearing tweed. I couldn't find any tweed.
You gotta go to the thrift store.
I went there.
Nothing.
I couldn't find anything.
Maybe next year.
Maybe. But this works, right?
John Prentice, Seattle Refined.
To learn more about the Snohomish Tweed Ride, check out the website. Coming up on Seattle Refined. Worried about staying dry? Not with these threads.
The water just pulls up and drips right off.
Holy crud.
And it keeps you totally
Oh
dry.
my gosh.
Pretty cool, right? And you aren't going to believe what these sporty styles are made of. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm Guard Swanson. You know, a lot of people you meet have family businesses that survive generation after generation, keeping important traditions alive. But for one West Coast man, it took the help of some close friends to resurrect a family business that closed its doors nearly 50 years ago. Dan Rascone has the story.
Tom Remedy has always had a big dream to one day reopen a business his great-great-grandfather started back in the 1800s.
My mom's side just always talked about having that experience, and it'd be great to see the brand back.
That dream has now become a reality. Fisher Brewing Company is back in operation, serving up.
That's the Fisher beer, the historical recreation.
A variety of beer.
The classic American Pilsner, and that's our Nitro Brown Ale.
Brewed fresh daily in the heart of Salt Lake City.
There's always that family dream kind of thing to bring back the old brewery.
Albert Fisher opened his doors in 1884. 83 years later, in 1967, it closed down. Then about 4 years ago,
I'm just operations manager.
Tom,
I'm the brewer.
Kobe Frazier,
I'm behind the bar a lot.
Stephen Brown,
the numbers guy,
and Tim Dwyer all got together and decided it was time to open up their own brewery.
There was no question in my mind what it was going to be.
The name seems to have paid off.
It's actually carried more weight than I anticipated. I think that people that didn't even necessarily ever drink Fisher beer have memories of their grandfather potentially drinking Fisher beer when they were just a child.
Fisher Brewery is not about massive production. They take pride in brewing one batch at a time.
Part of the business plan was to not have a kitchen, so instead they have food trucks show up here at the place. Get your food and head on inside.
A lot has changed since the 1800s.
We should deviate it. We should make it more white.
But these four friends believe they have what it takes to continue on the legacy of Albert Fisher.
We've made it through, I think, the toughest part, and now it's been really great to see people enjoying, this thing that we had put on paper years ago.
Since reopening, Fisher Brewery has made about 24 different kinds of beers. And a shout out to our friends at our sister station in Salt Lake City for letting us know about that great story. Closer to home, you can find more beer than you could ever need this weekend in Puyallup. That's right, Oktoberfest Northwest kicks off this Friday with all the German beer, brats, and entertainment you could ask for. And you'll want to be sure to stop by European Deli. While you're there, you can enjoy traditional German soups, brats, Reuben sandwiches, and assorted crepes for dessert. Oktoberfest Northwest opens at noon on Friday at the Washington State Fair Event Center in Puyallup. We're going to see you there. We'll be right back, but first, this refined, shareable moment.
If you have...
Welcome back to the show. I'm Gard Swanson. The Northwest is the center of the universe when it comes to coffee and coffee lovers. But now a Tacoma company is taking its love for Java to the very next level by turning recycled beans into fashion. Refined's Aaron Mayofsky has the story.
There's always a buzz around fashion. What's hot sells. The company 512 Apparel in Tacoma is using coffee grounds in the fabric to produce their trendy clothes.
We use an all eco-friendly process. We're not burning materials, we're recycling materials in our clothing, in our bags, in our zip-up jackets. Primarily coffee grounds, but we also use water bottles and recycled windshields.
It works like this. Singtex polyester is manufactured with shredded bottles. It's mixed with coffee grounds gathered from big companies. And through a heated process, coffee yarn is created and later spun into fabric and made into 512 apparel. Now, I can't believe that those are made actually out of ground coffee beans here. This is cool. It's so bright. It's like you've got your dark brown and then it's boom, pop of color.
Absolutely. That's what we love too about, especially this latest collection that we've come out with, is all of our vibrant colors. I'm wearing an ocean. This is one of our new poppy colors. We have berry leggings. Tell me what I'm trying on here. So this is our Tofino rain jacket. The cool thing about this jacket is that it's made not only with recycled coffee grounds, but also with recycled melted down water bottles.
Oh, that's cool.
The water bottles is what's given it its complete hydrophobic properties. When you're out in the rain, you're playing water sports, the water just pulls up and drifts right off.
Holy crud.
And it keeps you totally
dry.
dry.
Oh my gosh, you guys gotta feel that. It's totally dry. That's really cool. Can you put more? Let's see.
Yeah, so ready? It's gonna just pour down that sleeve and it's gonna
Oh
drip
my
right
goodness.
off. And you're completely dry.
That's awesome.
So being a Seattle-based company, we know how much we love our coffee here. And we know how much that we love our athletic wear. People don't realize what coffee grounds can be used for, so I think it gives us a really cool spin.
I'm Aaron Mayofsky, Seattle Refined.
512 Apparel says in their last fabric run, they used roughly 2,000 pounds of recycled coffee grounds, which equates to 45,000 cups of coffee or 90,000 shots of espresso. To learn more about 512 Apparel, log on to our website. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I'm Gard Swanson. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on Seattle Refined.
Sometimes